All right. Here we go. Here we go. Aswand Cruickshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current five-time published author and educator. We are here for another Wednesday's Wintrapreneur tip. Wintrapreneur tip, just so we're clear, so you understand what I mean when I say Wintrapreneur. We're taking the term entrepreneur and we're taking the term winning and we're merging it into one word. All right. If you're not familiar with an intrapreneur is, an intrapreneur is someone that has a job that's paying them every 2 weeks, yet they're thinking like an entrepreneur. They have the mindset of an entrepreneur where they've been blessed enough to align their vision for their business and their company to be able to align it with the company that's actually paying them every 2 weeks. So because I have a ton of experience in that arena, in that world, I've decided that every Wednesday I will come on and speak to you guys about a specific tip on how to be a wintrapreneur. And you could look across the internet, you could look at throughout everywhere, or Google, do whatever it is you have to do to search it up. Aswand Cruickshank is the one and only person that's using the term wintrapreneur. All right, so no one's getting that, no one else is getting credit for it, and we're here every single Wednesday, as I said. So before I get into today's tip, you know where I gotta send you. Gotta go to makeyourmove.com. That's makeyoumove.com. Get you an NIL bundle, which includes three of the five. These are just three of the five books that I've written. This is more so the deal I have going on now because of the relevancy in it. All the books I've written are very, very important. However, when it comes to the relevancy and the things that you need to be getting right now because of all of the crazy things that are going on in college athletics, these are the three books that you need to be purchasing. All right. First one is my latest one. It's called Transferring D1. It's a practical guide on how to navigate the chaotic world of college athletics, which, as you can see, we definitely need that. Next one, Make Your Move. I make the bold claim, make your move a unique look into boxing, dance, and entrepreneurship. I make the bold claim in this book that boxing and dance are the best activities that you can do for whatever your main sport may be. I interviewed a ton of people, boxers, dancers, coaches, professional athletes, professional boxers, tons of people that are interviewed in this very book. And the book that I co-authored is partnered with about 10 other authors, called The Six-Figure Athlete: How to Convert Your Skills into Cash. Again, if you are an athlete, just know that you're always one injury away from your playing career completely being over. It's important that you know right now, not later, but right now while you're playing, how you're going to be able to monetize the skills that you are developing as an athlete. So all of that is available at makeyourmove.com. That's makeyoumove.com. Hit the shop button and go get your NIL bundle. All right. So as far as today's today's wintrapreneur tip. All right. I usually do a Move Swiftly thought every day. So forgive me if I'm missing specific videos and all that, but that happens when you're a seasoned speaker, as seasoned of a speaker as I am. I'm always able to maneuver and figure out other ways to get the main point across. Like there was actually a time where I had to, write out every single speech, and before I was going to address something publicly, I would make sure it's written out. I'll make sure, okay, this happens. I was so fucking like robotic with it, but it's crazy now how I just, hit the microphone, hit the record button, turn it on, and I'm just ready to roll as long as I know what I'm actually going to say. All right. So as far as the tip today, we're going to more so talk a little bit about mindset. All right. Mindset is key when you're talking about entrepreneurship, when you're talking about making sure that the money that whoever's paying you, making sure that the money is going to the right place and the most productive places. And you have to have the mindset that you are actually improving, because one of the things that tends to happen when you are an entrepreneur is the people who are paying you, the corporate structures they will not, in fact, it not tends to happen, it definitely doesn't happen like this, they will not support your endeavors. So you have to continuously find ways to keep your mindset in a place where you're going to keep going and keep building and keep keep progressing towards what it is you're trying to progress to. All right. So here's an example. This was back when I just finished college. I just finished graduate. I graduated from Stony Brook University. And my first job, well, yeah, my first job was actually I was a scout for a company named National Scouting Report, but that was all commission work. And I had to work at a gym, and that was gonna be what paid me every 2 weeks. And eventually I was doing those two specific things for a few months, and eventually I got to the point where I started my own company, which is gym44.com, which is still available here. Actually, I can show you if you go online, but it is, where is it? Right there, gym44.com. The first company I started, right? And the unique thing about gym44.com is it is a platform in which coaches can post tryouts. But the unique thing about each trial that gets posted is it has ad space. All right. So you see the tryout right there. Coaches can log in the same way that you would log into whatever, Gmail account, Facebook account, whatever it is. But instead of posting a tryout on those platforms, this specific thing is made to post tryouts, and it has actual ad space in which the coaches can use the ad space for funding and generating revenue for their program. It's the whole concept that I created. And again, this is still available for people to use. Just so happens that I've had to focus more on setting up my business in a way where I'm educating people on how to do this, which is what I learned, in fact, when I hired Dre as a coach. And I was showing him this, and he was basically telling me it's a great concept, but it's a matter of you setting up your business in a way where you're educating people, which is where, again, the books came, and the podcast and a lot of the work I'm doing now. All of that stemmed from the fact that I learned that I have to educate people in order for me to get the goal that I originally had done. So all of this, I'm just telling you all this so you can use it as an example for how you build your business, and so you know the length of time that's going to take for you to really build something significant. It's going to become a lifelong commitment after a while, right? So all that being said, I was working at the gym while I was coming up with this idea for Gym 44, and the whole principle of the whole concept of it was selling ad space. That's really is the bottom line to Gym 44. It's really the only reason a person would use it. It's really just the money that you would get from the ad space, and it's an opportunity to sell ad space, right? So I was blessed enough to be working at the overnight element. It was the overnight shift at the gym. And there was another individual, I'll never forget him. His name was Rennie, if I'm not mistaken. It was Ronnie or Rennie or something like that. And he and I would talk business all the time. He talked business all the time. This is late night. The gym wasn't packed. I'd get my workout in, and I'd be finishing up, and he'd be coming in off the late night, and he was in business himself. So we'd always be talking a little bit about business and, how it can grow it, because he understood the concept. He, in fact, went as far as writing a slogan for the whole thing, because it was frustrating him just as much as me that it wasn't taken off yet, right? So what happened, there was a time, so Spunk Fitness had this bulletin board. They had this bulletin board where the members were able to take whatever flyers or whatever business cards or whatever it is they were trying to promote and get to the community. They were able to take that and stick it on a bulletin board for like community events. If anybody in the gym was interested in doing this and doing that, they were able to do that, right? So Randy, apparently he was selling something called automobile ads, where he was going to be the person doing the advertisements for automobiles and going out and getting the advertisements and kind of being that middleman between people that wanted ads for their automobile or something to that effect. Easily, just again, a lot of the same things I was selling when it comes to ad space. And he actually, so what he did was he put a bunch of flyers on this community bulletin board, and there was one day where he noticed they weren't there. Now, me being at the time, I was kind of in a pessimistic way because I knew how great this idea was, but the manager at the Spunk Fitness wasn't listening to me. No one was actually listening to me when I had this idea. So I was really kind of being pessimistic in terms of where his flyers went. But then he had the mindset. He said, no, that doesn't mean that, they took it off or whatever. That means probably somebody took it, and they're going to be calling me, and we're going to be able to do some business. The reason I'm explaining all that to you is because understanding entrepreneurship, where you work is all about mindset. It was great that Rennie pulled me from the pessimistic mindset and said, hey, I was gonna say, oh, Mike, well, the manager at the time, his name was Mike. I was assuming Mike had taken the flyers down because that's just the kind of dickheaded boss he was. But it wasn't his mindset. Rennie's mindset was that somebody in the gym took it, and that's leading to the ability to continue to create more opportunities. Somebody takes it, and we're going to build business on upon that and stuff like that. So it inspired him to create more. And if I didn't have that moment, I don't know if I'm able to have the mindset that I have today. Now, this is one moment of many different opportunities or many different things that happen as you're building your business. This one moment after another moment after another moment. Like I said, I do this every single Wednesday. Is when you have an idea, when you have something that you want to put out there in the world, you're going to be met with a lot of resentment from the powers that be. But if you are working and you believe in your product, you believe in what it is you're doing, any check that you get, any job that you have, you're going to have to make it so you find ways to keep believing in your product. You have to find ways to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. And these are one of the ways. All right. So that's this week. That's this week's Entrepreneur tip. As mentioned, this is coming out every single Wednesday. We do not stop. I believe this is, if I'm not mistaken, close to 20 weeks in a row of Entrepreneur tips, and I'm still just getting started. So, as mentioned before, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work is makeityourmove.com. I would love to come to your business and host a workshop for you, or host a keynote in which the attendees are going to develop this entrepreneur mindset, and you'll have a company that's being run and being as efficient and have the committed people, the type of committed people as if as if your business was a high school championship football team. That is the guarantee that I give to anybody that brings me in to host a workshop for their staff. So all that's available on makeyourmove.com. That's makeyaMove.com. It's a one-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.